David Ortiz inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. Fans from Boston and the Dominican coming in the thousands to watch David Ortiz accept his enshrinement into the Baseball Hall of Fame. An outstanding speech which we will run in its entirety in a little bit. Former teammates, friends, and members of the Red Sox front office in attendance, including Red Sox chairman Tom Werner, who talked about David Ortiz and his place in history.
I think that it's fair to say he was the best clutch hitter, not just for the Red Sox, but in baseball of the time that you and I have been watching baseball games. And, you know, we were just driving over here and we were talking about that clutch hit he had against Detroit that changed that playoff game. But it's fair to say he's one of the greatest hitters in the history of the game.
In some ways, he's your first, right? His entire career was with this ownership group. What's the level of pride you have in being part of this?
Well, first we have to thank Pedro, because Pedro was the one who said, you know, I think that this guy's got talent. And when we signed him, we didn't know that he was going to be a great starting player, let alone a Hall of Famer. But it's just once you saw his play, it was just great. And you know, off the field, I mean, we can never forget what he did to heal Boston after the Marathon Day massacres.
Along those lines, I've been saying all weekend, it's kind of perfect that he's the headliner in the first full Hall of Fame celebration in 3 years. He's kind of bringing the Hall of Fame back to life.
Well, that's right. I mean, you know, it's been a couple of years since everybody has gathered. And I just see all these number 34s in the audience today. It's just a great moment for him. We ran into him just now, and I think he's got half the Dominican Republic with him.
I'll ask you finally, he said that he feels pretty comfortable about his speech. I guess the greatest clutch hitter in all time doesn't get nervous, right?
No, I think he's going to hit it out of the park.
Well done. Good to see you.
And he did hit it out of the park, no doubt about that. The Red Sox, however, here at Fenway did not. They fall once again to the Blue Jays, get swept aside. Brayan Bello, the starting pitcher, making his third Major League start. We will hear from him coming up. And we will go back to Cooperstown. We will air David Ortiz Hall of Fame speech in its entirety. A speech made in front of an estimated 35,000 people who showed up to Cooperstown.
Well, the two lefties did the damage, right? Bayo goes the other way with the bases loaded, and then Tapia got him. The walk to Bayo, 0-2 count. He used the changeup and the slider and the sinker, and he walked him, put him in a bad spot. The first three, there's nothing you can do, right? Weak contact, the ball hit the bag, you know, it's bad luck, you know, and that's part of the learning process, right? Sometimes the toughest thing is in the sixth. Sometimes the tough at bat is in the third batter into the game, you know, and he did a good job against Teoscar. The Bayo at bat right there put him in a bad spot, like I said, and the two lefties did they put the ball in play. Overall, after that, he was okay. A lot of traffic, a lot of weak contact, right? You know, we felt like after 4, the way he pitched, you know, we got Sawa there, just keep slowing down the game and give us a chance, but it didn't work out.
He seems like he has the bulk of the innings where he gives up a lot of runs and then doesn't give up runs.
Yeah, and I think so. We were talking about it. Bushy, you know, he made the point about that. You know, like you got to be ready. You know, and he executed. I mean, weak contact right away, and he's second and third no outs against a good offense. And then Lourdes hits a rocket to the second baseman. We get the out, and then we got Teoscar. Oh no, the walk, and then we got Teoscar. But you know, Bayo hits the ball the other way, and then Tapia, you know, gets the other one. So still learning, but the stuff, like we said, it's still there, you know. I think he did a good job later on using his two-seamer in against those righties, and there was a lot of ground balls. So just keep learning.
I know the tough stretches largely been due lately. We've had 13 or 14 players on the IL. You lost like 13 or 16. Is there like kind of an urgency coming up this weekend with the Guardians and Brewers? Like, you know, unless you play well, you might be sellers. I mean,
I buy at the grocery store, and you know, don't sell too many things at home. So we just got to play better. You know, it doesn't matter. You know, like the trading deadline, whatever. We're playing 500 baseball. We're back to neutral. You know, we're back to where we were April 8th, right? So the brand of baseball we're playing is awful. You know, we're not catching the ball, we're not putting good at bats, we're not throwing strikes. It's bad. You know, it's really bad right now. But we're talented, and you know we can turn around quick. And it starts tomorrow. We got to show up tomorrow. We have to show up tomorrow and play good baseball. It starts with Nick on the mound, good at bats, grind at bats, run the bases well, play good defense. I think defensively we have to take a step back. You know, the last 14 days, and we were really good defensively early on. Like I said, you know, yeah, we got moving parts, but you got to slow it down. You know, catch the ball, throw to the right base. You know, don't panic out there. And it seems like right now the game speeds up at one point in the game, and it looks horrible.
What do you think's about? Is that the turnover you've had to go through here, or is it just the situation?
I mean, we got guys playing different positions, right? And but at the end of the day, you know, this is who we have, and this is who we are. You know, and I mentioned last year what we did, right? And one thing that we did when we had COVID, the COVID situation, we caught the ball. We turned over plays. We played clean baseball, and you know, gave our pitchers a chance to you know, maneuver lineups and the offense to scratch up runs. And right now, we're not doing that.
You always talk about the things you can control, right? Like, what's the thing you can control now?
I think effort, and energy is good, you know, regardless of the results. You know, we just got swept by the Jays, but, you know, we showed up and we kept fighting, which is good. You know, we played good defense at the end of the game. You know, Bogey with diving catch, a double play, and Jeter diving for that ball. It was really good at the end defensively. But that's what you got to do, you know. In these situations, you know, offensively, we know where we at. Defensively, we have to be better. We have to catch the ball.
We'll have more reaction from the Red Sox loss coming up. Also, David Ortiz Hall of Fame acceptance speech. We'll air it in its entirety. A lot to love from his speech, including this little story featuring Dustin Pedroia.
My smaller teammate, where he at, Pedroia? Pee-wee grabbed me by the neck one time, and he told me, if you keep on pulling the ball, I'm gonna whoop you. And guess what? Big Papi got caught up on fire.
Take a look at the numbers over 3 starts, going 4 innings in 3 consecutive starts. He's now allowed 13 runs in that span. Here's what he had to say post-game.
No tan bien porque las cosas no han salido como esperábamos, pero seguir trabajando para la próxima salida.
Yeah, I don't feel that good because the things are not going how I hope it would go, but I just need to keep working during my starts and keep getting better.
Do you feel like there's a lot of pressure and you're coming into games where kind of pivotal games against, you know, hard opponents in a game like today with .5 on the line?
Que si crees que sientes presión en venir juegos como hoy, que venimos abajo dos juegos abajo en la serie, que tienes que un juego como una presión para ganarlo o normal.
No, en realidad sí, yo quería ganar, quería que todo saliera bien para poder darle la oportunidad al equipo de ganar, pero no sentía presión sobre eso, de que 2 juegos perdidos y eso, pero sí quería que todo saliera bien y ganar el juego.
Yeah, I didn't feel any pressure at all. I just wanted to try to perform, trying to keep the team in the game so we can win. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. But no, I didn't feel any pressure at all.
First couple of those hits weren't hit all that hard. Is it hard to put that behind you and focus on the batters in front of you?
Que los primeros 2 hits no fueron bateados duros ni nada, que sí es un poquito difícil como que pasar la página y enfocarte en los siguientes bateadores.
Nada, como yo dije, las cosas no estaban de mi lado, pero nada, seguir trabajando eso son pequeñas cosas que suceden durante el juego y nada, todo estaba a favor de ellos y ya.
Yeah, like those were like the ball wasn't on my favor today. The baseball were on their favor instead today. So just keep working. For me, just need to keep learning and keep working and be ready for the next start.
Talk about.
All right, so Brian Bayo through his interpreter, Carlos Valoria Benitez, and Bayo obviously going through growing pains here at the major league level. And again, this is out of necessity too, right? I mean, he wasn't expected to be a part of this right now, but because of the injury situation, here we are. What did you see out of Bayo today?
all, I thought, the line doesn't speak about how well he threw today. I thought he got better as the game started. And there's a lot of weak contact early. The first 2 batters of the game, really, really soft contact, a couple little choppers right there. The walks in the first inning hurt him. And then slowly throughout the game, the fastball location got a little bit better. When he was going up, he was going up. When he was going down, he's using that arm side movement inside to righties to induce a ton of ground balls. So there's a lot of good things to take from it into his next outing, whenever that is. The changeup was playing pretty well today, too. So, you know what? You got to go home tonight and think about the positive things. Remember those. Learn from the things that were mistakes today, right? The location in the first inning towards the latter half of the lineup, I felt like he got a little bit tired. 95 degrees. You're moving around the mound, chasing ground balls. So, you know what? A lot of the balls didn't fall in his favor. It could have been different. It could have been 1 or maybe 2 instead of 5. That would have been the difference in the game. So keep your confidence up. Go out there. Do what you do.
Yeah, some weak contact in the first inning.
Can't do anything about that.
Blue Jays are too good to not capitalize on those opportunities, and that's exactly what they were able to do. And they were also able to capitalize on opportunities in the 5th inning when the Red Sox were playing some sloppy baseball, and that continues to be a theme for the Sox as we hit the second half of the season. First, you have Hirokazu Sawamura on the mound in relief of Brayan Bello. Not once but twice goes to his mouth with his hand and doesn't wipe off before grabbing the baseball while he's on the mound. That's 2 straight balls, and that allows the runner a free pass to first base.
So I think this might have been lost in translation. I think the first time you should have gone out there and explained it to him, because it happened 2 times in a row. This led to a leadoff walk. And you know what happens to leadoff walks? Those guys always tend to score. So again, English isn't his native language. He might not have understood. After he explained it, then okay, now he knows what he was doing wrong.
All right, so the walk to... It's ruled in your scorebook an intentional pass to Teoscar Hernandez. And then more trouble. You see Jeter Downs not able to handle that cleanly, committing the error there on the George Springer ground ball that would have been or could have been perhaps an inning double play.
This is what Alex Cora is talking about when he's talking about playing clean baseball. You have to be able to catch it and throw it. That sped up on him a little bit. He tried to throw it before the ball was actually in his glove. So those are the plays you have to make if you're going to give your team a chance.
And going from bad to worse right here with Vladdy Guerrero Jr. and the bases loaded. Hirokazu Sawamura going to cover the bag. Can't find it. It took a bad route to first base.
Yeah, this is a play we do 120 times a day during spring training. And ideally, you're going to listen to your first baseman. As soon as he calls you off, you've got to bust it to the cut that's right before first base. If you do that, the base is going to be in your path. But instead, you can see he tried to run right to first base. It's very difficult to judge where the ball is going to be and where your foot's going to hit the baseball, or the bag, I should say. So again, you got to take a shorter route toward the line and then run up towards right field once you get to the base.
And that's the stuff that Alex Cora is talking about, right? And the injuries are one thing, and having guys who aren't normally in the lineup is one thing, or having Brayan Bello having to pitch because of injuries. But it's that kind of thing. That kind of thing is what he's talking about, that they're playing an awful brand of baseball right now. That stuff is avoidable. That stuff you can control. The Franchi Cordero error in the outfield that allowed the runner to move up. You had that play right there, the Jeter Downs error that we showed you, and also hitting Matt Chapman in the back as he's trying to score. Those are all things that you can control, and if you do that, you clean it up a little bit, maybe you have a better result.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't have that inning, you're 1 run away, right? And you don't know what can happen. So, yeah, clean baseball, catch it, throw it, know what you're doing with the baseball. It's the little things. It's fundamental baseball. And, again, you're talking about a team that's dealing with a lot of injuries. The team that's on the field right now is a little inexperienced, a little playing out of position at times. Yeah. But, again, we're not making excuses.
They're still professional baseball players, and they know they have to make those plays.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, coming up, more from Cooperstown. David Ortiz inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame, which will be something that we run in its entirety. We will run the Hall of Fame speech in its entirety. But before we get to that, we will get to the stretch play. Brought to you by W.B. Mason, delivering since 1898. Who but W.B. Mason? And we talked about the sloppy play. We'll give credit to Xander Bogaerts for some nice plays here in the infield.
Yeah, this is an outstanding play right there on both sides from Bogaerts and Sanchez. Really good transition, fielding it, making a good strike throw to second baseman right there, and really quick from Yolmer, getting it in and out of the glove extremely quick right there.
All right, so Xander Bogaerts making a nice play there. And then another nice play right here with the infield in, looking smooth over there at shortstop to retire Vladdy. And then another look at this play right here, getting the force at third to end the inning. Also made a nice catch, diving play here to retire the side in the 7th. So Xander Bogaerts all over the field today doing his best.